Hope you're doing well today. Welcome back to my channel. Well, I've been on a cinnamon roll kick lately. I like I did apples one day with cinnamon, and the other day I did cranberry and white chocolate, and that's the ones I want to share with you. They were so delicious. I make my dough just a little on the sweet side, but anyway, I kind of just make it up as I go, and I know you should follow a specific recipe. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but today I'm going to mix all-purpose flour with bread flour. And anyway, let's just get started and I'll show you what I did.
Dumping. I have about a third cup of sugar in here. And I put in here, it's mostly milk and a little water. I like the mixture. I find the milk makes the dough a little bit too heavy. And also I'm going to use a little milk powder. So I like to add that to my dough too. So now we're going to just add a little bit of vanilla, about a half a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. Like I said, I like my dough kind of on the sweet side, but not too sweet, because I'm going to be adding a lot of sugar. I'm going to add 1 egg at room temperature, and I think it's an extra large egg. And then I like to add, first I need my whisk. I like to whisk the egg in. And you know, you try not to make a big recipe, but mine always ends up getting bigger and bigger. All right. I had to make sure my yeast was good because it's kind of it's over a year old, I think. So we're going to start with 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 cup of bread flour. I find the combination makes a little bit more tender dough. Sometimes I use all bread flour, sometimes I use a combination. I don't know why, I just do. And I know I'm using King Arthur bread flour, and I think I forgot my all-purpose flour. Oh no, it's Bob's Red Mill white unbleached flour. So let's add some milk powder and some salt. I love to add a little bit of milk powder. We're going to do like 2 tablespoons. And this is just the Great Value non-fat milk powder. Add that. I'm going to add at least a teaspoon of salt. Maybe a little tiny bit more. But when I use a specific white chocolate, and the cranberries together with the cinnamon, it's just, I didn't think it was going to work at the beginning, but when I did it, it was just so good. So let me start mixing this. I'm going to let this get incorporated pretty well, and then I'll add some more flour. And I will be back. You can see that's mixed in pretty well. So now I'm going to just go in with, you should use about 3 1/4 cups to 3 1/2 cups. We're going to put a little of bread flour again and a little all-purpose flour again. I kind of just go with the consistency, because the best thing to do is just follow a recipe. And I have multiple recipes, but sometimes I'll just like to make it up as I go along. It's probably not good for a video, but this is a little softened butter. I'm also going to add just about 2 tablespoons. You could put oil if you wanted to. I like to put butter. My butter is not totally soft because it's a little cool in here, which makes me in the baking mood. So let's mix this up. When my mixer is louder, I let you watch the whole thing, but I don't want to annoy anyone. Just break down the sides too, because eventually I want the dough to clean the sides of the bowl. So it's still pretty sticky, but it's all mixed in. So I'm going to add, and I apologize if I don't have the exact amount, but I will show you the consistency at the end. I should be doing a better job, but I just still have that cold, so I'm still not up to par. So let's add a little bit more. I'm going to add probably about 3/4 of a cup. And then this should do it, I think. So you see how it's coming together? It's going to be a little bit sticky. I'm going to have to add but now I'm going to add like a teaspoon or a tablespoon at a time. But I'm going to let it go and I'm going to set my timer for 4 minutes. And then if I need to add a little bit, I'll just add a little bit. In fact, let's add a little bit right now. We're going to add like a tablespoon. And sometimes you can add too much, and that can make your dough tough if you add too much flour. But so sometimes I like it a little bit sticky. So that's what it's looking like. See, it's still pretty sticky, but I needed it on 3 for about 4 minutes. Let me spray my hands. And I sprayed my bowl. And I also preheated my oven a little bit. I like to do that so it goes a little bit quicker, especially when I wait until late to make bread. But it is therapeutic. So I'm just going to scrape it out of this bowl and put it in this bowl. And I've sprayed my bowl. Yeah, it's sticky at the bottom. That's okay. Just throw it in there. Because you're going to put it on a little bit of flour when you take it out. And I like to just kind of coat it with the oil. Make it a little bit of a ball. And like I said, my oven's a little warm. Let's give it another spray. I'm going to cover it with a tea towel. Oops. And hopefully it won't take a whole hour, but it might. Here's my dough. It's pretty soft. Let me put some flour on my hands. It's very soft. I'm out of practice, so it might be too soft. We'll see. We'll see. But it rose it nicely. So let's put it on here. And what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to need just a tiny bit of flour with it. And I'm not very good at kneading. I just kind of just fold it over. But I'm going to do this. I don't want to put too much flour. And I did the trick where you spray the pan and you put it on your mat or your counter or whatever. I'm just going to get a little bit, but you don't want to put too much flour. That's the tricky part. So I'm going to do this. And now what I'm going to do is put it back into a ball and let it rest for about 10 minutes before I roll it out. And I have all my ingredients prepped and ready. And I don't have the exact measurements. It's kind of to your taste. How much chocolate or cranberry you want to use. So let's put the saran wrap back over it. And I'll be back in about 15 minutes. Well, for you it'll be a rest. It's got lots of gas in there because I put a little bit more yeast. It feels wonderful. And I don't measure it. I just kind of roll it out the best I can into a rectangle. Sometimes I try to roll it out thin. Sometimes I try to... It depends on how many spirals you like and all that stuff. But I'm going to show you... I might not let it rest long enough, but you just keep working at it and it'll go. And these are definitely something you want to make during the holidays. These are very, what I would call a big splurge, but they're delicious. And I did some with apples one day. Those were amazing. I love making this kind of dough. And I need to practice because I kind of quit for a while. I got to get all those bubbles out. So let me roll this out and I'll show you what we're going to put it in. See, I rolled mine pretty thin. The edges are a little bit thick, but that's okay. And I have about, you could use granulated sugar, brown sugar. You could, but this is brown sugar and cinnamon, and it's about a cup of brown sugar and some cinnamon. And then this is a little over half a stick of butter that I kind of melted just a little, so it would spread easily. I'm trying to do 50 things at once today, but I really wanted to get this recipe out. I'm just going to spread the butter. I liked the butter to absorb the sugars. Now, I use a certain kind of white chocolate. You could use any kind you like. I find that this one melts the best. You could use chocolate chips, though. You could use... you could also use the bars and just chop them up. Hope I have enough butter here. We'll just make it enough. Just kind of spread it out. I use this about the same recipe dough for most of my cinnamon rolls. I like I said, I like just a tiny bit of a sweet dough. I might need some more butter here. You gotta have a lot of butter. I rolled it out larger than I usually do. And I usually use the 13 by 9 pan, but today I want to use 2 9-inch pans. Yeah, let me get a little bit more butter. Let's see. I don't think it's soft enough. I'm going to have to soften it real quick. I've got just a couple more tablespoons. I just kind of put it in the microwave for a second. I know some people brush melted butter. Sometimes I like to use just room temperature butter, but it's a little chilly in the house, so it doesn't spread as easily. I don't know. I have a recipe also on my channel called coconut buns, and when I tell you those things, I don't know if you've ever, I don't have a lot of views on those, but those were so delicious. If you ever want to check that out. And my cinnamon roll video doesn't do very well. I don't think I have a very good thumbnail, but it's a very good recipe. Get that butter off right here. And I spread it almost to the edge, not quite all the way. And you could even cut some off and make it more even. I usually cut my ends off. I'm doing it quickly because I don't want to make the video too long. I know you know how to spread butter. And like I said, it depends on how sweet you like it. You know, I like it pretty sweet. Like I said, this is more like a holiday recipe, and so I'm just going all out. And let me tell you, the white chocolate with the cranberry is just amazing. You could also add some orange zest if you like. I know that goes really well with cranberries. I don't care for it, though. I shouldn't say that. I haven't tried it a lot, but I like to put my sugar and cinnamon on. And you could also put some nutmeg. You could put some nuts. I thought about putting some nuts, but I'm going to leave them like this. And my cranberries were frozen. I just took them out of the freezer and let them thaw just a little bit. I usually just like to cover, and I probably could have added a little bit more, but we'll just spread this out. Now I like to spread this out. It's kind of messy, but I like to make sure it gets almost all over the dough. And I like to kind of press it into the butter. And like I said, I usually just cut the ends off, so that should be good. Now with the chocolate, I chopped it up a little bit with a knife. So let's put some chocolate in here, and you can use as much as you like. You don't want to use too much, but I don't know. This chocolate's very good. I think I'm going to use all of this chocolate because it goes so well with the tart. The cranberries are so tart. I'm going to try to roll these up tightly. So what are you guys making for the holidays? This is kind of a new tradition. I usually make, my favorite thing is snickerdoodle. They're called snickerdoodle bars. I haven't made those this year yet. Now I should have chopped these up, I guess, but I didn't. So we're just going to go with it and see what happens. You can put a little bit. I just discovered that I love cranberries this year. It's going to be tricky to roll up now. Yeah, I think I'm going to need all these. And I also have 2 pans. You could put these in the freezer once you roll them out and put them in the pan and bake them another day. You could also do this dough overnight in your refrigerator. That would be delicious too. Get a little bit more flavor in your dough by letting it sit in the fridge overnight. Okay, that looks good. Like I said, didn't measure, just kind of, you know, just kind of guessed at what we think we would like, and that's okay. You can. It's my favorite way to cook, actually. I'm sure you guys figured that out by now. So I'm gonna roll this up, and I didn't roll it as even as I'd like to, but that's fine. Now I like to pull it when I have this much stuff in here. I like to pull it as I go, and my dough is really soft. So. And my oven's still a little bit warm because I like to... I actually got that tip from Cook's Illustrated book about warming up your oven a little bit before. To speed up the rising process. You could also put boiling water in your oven for the steam. That's something that I should really do more often. That's a really good trick. You could spray water in your oven as you're baking. I just don't want the cranberries to tear my dough. It looks like it's holding up really well. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I wanted kind of a lot of spirals today. And then I'm just going to take it and I pull it over and I just pinch the seams. And see, you can tell I'm going to have to cut that off, the ends off, because they're very uneven. And these are even better. The next day, you just pop them in the microwave and they're just like you just baked them. They're just so good. So let's make sure it's the even amount of thickness. I like to kind of press it together, tighten it. Let's get my dough scraper. I can't find it. Here it is. I'm just going to cut, and I'll just bake these in another pan. But you can see there's a little bit of stuff in here. But I kind of want them to be even today. And I usually use the 13 by 9. All right. So this is my pan, and it's 9-inch, and it's pretty deep. It's a good pan too. Make sure it's pinched. And now we're just gonna, it doesn't have to be perfect. I usually just kind of start in the middle. And then I go in the middle again. And then I usually mess it all up. So I go, oh, is it 2 or 3? 2, 3. So let's see. I think we're going to make 3 out of this one. I really should measure and just place in your pan. And you want them to give them a little bit of room to rise. And I want the cranberries on top, if I can, you know, like this. And they're pretty full. Some people use a dental floss or string to cut their dough, but see the cranberries, and it's going to be so pretty. Just hope I don't overbake them. I did that the other day when I was practicing. They were still good, but the apple ones were so good. All right, I think I can fit a couple more. This one, let's stretch it out just a little bit so we can make that 3. It's working out pretty well. And I think I'll put 1 in the center, just like this. See, doesn't that look pretty? So I'll put that on my pan. And the cranberries also are gonna, now I need a smaller pan actually for this one, but I'll just put it in this, I just already greased this one, so I'll just use it. So I'm just gonna place these in here. And I'm gonna also put a really good glaze on top. I'm going to show you that. We'll just stick these in here, and we'll stick the end pieces in here as well. Let's cut this one in half. These don't look that pretty. I hope I have one pretty pan. Anyway, I'll just stick these in here like this. Like I said, you could sprinkle nuts in here. But it looks like I didn't lose any of my ingredients. I rolled it up tight. So I'm going to put this in the oven and we'll see how long it takes to rise. And I'll show you what they look like before we bake them. I'm probably going to bake them at 350. So we'll be rising about 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my oven on and to 350 and start baking them. I like to leave them in the oven while I preheat it because you get a little bit more rise out of them. But these already smell delicious. Can't wait. These out of the oven. I actually baked them on 325 convection. And I baked them for about 25 minutes. But I don't want to over bake them because I like the dough to be really soft. So I like a light brown coating on the top. But if you look on the inside, you can see that it's still soft. But if you pull it apart, you can tell it is cooked. So they're better to me the next day when they are not over baked. Sometimes I over bake them. But here's the ones that were extra. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you what I'm going to make up a beautiful, hopefully sweet, decadent little glaze to go on top of these. I can't wait to try one. Okay, I just whipped up a little of the white chocolate I showed you previously, and some heavy cream, a pat of butter, and just a little teaspoon of Caro syrup, just to make sure it stays nice and smooth. And basically, I think I'm just going to I'm not really sure, actually. I think I'm just going to pour a little bit, kind of, because I like these. They're going to be sweet, but that's okay, because they're going to be, it's the holidays. That's what I keep saying, it's the holidays. But that's going to be awesome. Okay, let me put some on the other ones. And you could totally skip this if you want. You could put out just a powdered sugar and vanilla extract and milk also if you want to. We just love that white chocolate. Okay, I'm going to let that set up for just a little while. Let them cool down just a pinch. And you could also freeze these. That is the best white chocolate, guys. Okay, we'll be back for a taste test. Okay, everyone, well, this is the taste test that we've all been waiting for. Well, I've been waiting for all day. Cranberry and white chocolate's my new favorite. I already said that, my new favorite thing, but look at this pan. I want you to see the dough. It's, look, Ella,
Sorry.
I want you to see that just how soft the dough is, because you want to make sure you don't overcook them. But it's cooked, but it's still soft. And that way, it's soft the next day. So they're still warm, which is really delicious. And it cuts really nicely. Let me see. And we have to definitely give some of these away for treats, because I will eat all of them. And I love when the dough comes out right. It's so much fun. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, guys. You have to make these. I'm serious. These are my new favorite cinnamon roll. But I hope the video wasn't too long. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about the dough or any tips or tricks that I used that I didn't share, just ask me. I'll be happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't for more delicious recipes. I'm really trying to reach a certain number, and I enjoy your comments, and I appreciate you watching, and Merry Christmas.